Your ideas, are they always in agreement with one another? No two ideas ever agree with each other. Seriously? Then how does your mind get along with itself? Is it not always in some kind of turmoil? Being not in agreement is a harmony. My mind is always in harmony. Here in the everyday nightly world, to disagree with someone is not a harmony, rather a disharmony it is. And it can at times be quite a struggle to recover the lost harmony. To always be in disagreement with one another is a way of my ideas. To be always in agreement with one another is too a way of my ideas. Being in full disagreement with one another doesn't undermine the constant harmony that exists between them, neither does being in full agreement. How then are disagreements between them resolved? Never are they in any a disagreement finding themselves that would have them be in need of a resolution. But surely, when we here in the outside world disagree with one another, we have to resolve it in order to be able to work with one another, to be able to accomplish certain objectives and reach specific goals. It won't happen. It will never happen unless we are in agreement with one another. Trying to resolve disagreements implies that harmony wasn't there in the first place, namely the recognition that harmony exists whether you are in agreement or disagreement. My ideas, by nature, are always aware of the underlying harmony which exists between them and among them which exists in my mind. My mind being the realization of harmony. My ideas as such have no need to be making any extra effort to be trying to mend, as it were, any broken harmonies. What is important is the subject matter of the agreement or the disagreement. Then are you now admitting that there is in fact disharmony or conflict in your mind? Not at all, none whatsoever is there. But listen, we humans are, nearly for the most part, always troubled in our minds over one thing or another. And you are saying that, though you too are a human, assuming you are, surely you are, you don't ever experience any turmoil in your mind, that your ideas are always dwelling in harmonious coexistence? Yes, that would be true to say, as far as that kind of reasoning would go, which, in the going of it, isn't really very far at all. Then how do you deal with the everyday nightly worries of life? Say, for instance, the very problem of existence itself and problems associated with post-existence. And what, too, of the more immediate melange of problems, such as physical, emotional, and intellectual poverty, social inequality from bottom up, from top down, and unemployment and retirement, religious condescension, conflict and war, political polarization, privacy and security, trust and honesty, education at every level, air, food and water, health and healthcare, credit access and compound interest, discrimination, especially on the grounds of, but not confined to, color, ethnicity, age, sex, or mental or physical disability, housing, proper housing, epidemics and pandemics, investigative journalism, fake news, advertising and superficiality, shallow thinking and downright stupidity, crime and violence, law, order and policing, detention and capital punishment, arms stockpiling and selling, turning the blind eye, human indignity, financial and political corruption, human trafficking, child labor, asylum seeking, cultural integration, and deliberate unwillingness, even a couldn't be botheredness attitude towards learning new languages, addictions to all sorts of things, indifference to tradition and culture, ungratefulness to forebears and ancestors, social and familial violence and abuse, loneliness, depression, divorce, abortion, suicide, euthanasia, climate and planet change, our destruction of the natural world, our projected human colonization of the solar system, sustainable energy and energy storage, genetics and decoding and writing DNA, the human mind and consciousness, consciousness and physicality, waste and garbage disposal, autonomous drone warfare, artificial intelligence, nuclear power plants, just to mention but a few of the major ones. My ideas are quite familiar with all of these and many the more besides, but they don't worry about them, for that is not the way my mind works. My ideas all harmoniously disagree with one another, all agree harmoniously with one another, and all but harmoniously agree and all but harmoniously disagree with one another simultaneously. It is the harmony of my ideas that has my mind be harmoniously harmonious. With being in harmony with itself, is it in harmony being with the world outside of itself? That is the natural world, but in particular, the everyday nightly human world. I will disagree with you, I will agree with you and with anyone, while all the while being in harmony with them, though they most likely will not be of the same understanding as me on what the harmonious be. Now, how then is it possible for us to be of such a harmony as yours? How do we harmoniously be in disagreement with one another? When we are in agreement with one another, we have no problem with harmony being in harmony. It is only when we are in disagreement that we have the greatest trouble with being harmonious. True harmony is the underlying constant which allows you to respectfully either to disagree, agree, or be of a combination of both, say. Such is the way of my ideas in being the way such of my mind. Oh, my mind truly I know to be a wondrous place, its ideas and their ways immensely fascinating.